Welcome back to another episode of Wheel to Wheel. Grant, Ferrari podium. It only took us
I know
5 races.
it took plenty long, but I'm pleased, very pleased. That is probably the best race I've seen Charles drive through and through, where he's not like starting P1.
hmm
Um, I mean, you could make the argument his career. It was a great race. I mean, the spectacle of perfect strategy, well driven, tire management, everything you could check the box for, he did. Um, it's great to see. It's great to see that it's there. You know, no hope that it's going to last and or come back, but yeah, it's positive nonetheless.
I loved that race. I thought it was a very good race. A lot of people were saying last week's race was Bahrain was better. I liked both a
Nah,
lot. I thought that race was exhilarating. It might have been better for us just because our teams were in some very heated and exciting moments throughout the race. Uh,
yeah, it's fair.
at least two of my drivers were. One of yours was, but well,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can kind of touch on all of it, but the main results, the most important thing is we have a new drivers champion, and
Yep,
I called it. So first
you
and
did.
foremost, congrats Oscar Piastri. What is it? The first Australian citizen to lead the drivers constructors championship since 2010 or something like that. So pretty
Yeah,
cool
15
stuff.
years since the Aussie is led. Hard to believe.
I know because you'd think
Because I
Daniel
mean,
Ricciardo, but no.
right? Yeah, like in Aussie racing heritage runs pretty deep. They've got some guys, but um, yeah, the first thought I had was Danny Rick too, but
Didn't
no.
happen, I guess.
So happy for Oscar. Dude has been putting on a clinic.
Dude, he's so good. I mean, in the race opened up hot and heavy with him winning the start, getting to the turn first, and then obviously, regardless where you stand on it, the 5 second penalty was given to Verstappen, which then
Yep.
in result allowed Oscar to take back the lead, and then eventually he just drove it in with the clean air. Obviously, Lando was up there for a bit before he got pitted, which Oscar complained
Yeah.
about the dirty air, but nothing too crazy between the McLarens happened. But the biggest thing is to first touch on is the points for our competition. Originally, it was 6-8, and now it's 9-9. I picked Oscar to
Yeah.
win, so I got
9-9.
points, and you picked Leclerc to get third, so you got 1 point.
And I bet with my heart. Should have
Yeah,
never done it, but
I
I
know
did
it,
it,
and I
and it
think you
worked.
and you went back on it too. You were like, I don't know, but so we're tied up now 9-9 going to the next race, which is exciting for the channel for all the people that are so heavily invested in this. But
Yeah. Yeah. Got to get the numbers up.
what are your main takeaways besides Leclerc having a good race? Lewis Hamilton was a little bit of a sourpuss, and I quote from your text to
Yeah,
me
man.
in the post race interview.
That was disappointing because at the end of the race, like his cool down lap or whatever, his mic was great. He gave a big shout out to the pit crew because I mean we had like a 2-0 stop with
2-0
Charles.
was crazy.
Ferrari's pit crew's been killing it, man. They're at the top of the leaderboard on average time per stop. Um, but yeah, so he was like, shout out pit crew, great race, like happy for Charles, blah blah. I thought it was all cool.
Yeah.
Um, then we get to the post race interview, and Lewis is just nothing but negative, saying that nothing is going to help. Not time, not focusing, not anything driven. He's just saying, yeah, I don't know what's going to help at this point. He's down on himself, which sucks because we've touched on this before. Confidence goes such a long way in the sport. Like these guys have got to be driving with the fire under their butt, or nothing's going to happen. And
Mhm.
he's going to have to light the fire. I thought the sprint win might do that. I thought that might kind of propel him into something, and it's been disappointing. Um, he's
Yeah.
not up to speed with the car. I get it. It is a big learning curve, but
I also
yeah,
wonder if just the real big difference in finish, where he's seventh and Leclerc is third, had to play a role with it. Because Leclerc was just
sure.
driving that thing. So, I mean, that could have just been a little bit of a shock to the system. But I don't know. I've kind of felt like it was going to be not as smooth as people were bringing it up to be. I think people were really excited about it. But then at the same time, all the things that Lewis was complaining about Mercedes for, in the back of my head, I was like, do you not realize that Ferrari's like 15 times worse at all these things when it comes to race
Worse.
management
Yep.
and like all of these little tiny tweaks that Lewis was like complaining about Mercedes? I'm like, all right, I think this will be interesting, which it is. And it seems like everything's interesting. I'm going to run through the grid and then I'm going to hit on some points. But Oscar obviously finished first, Verstappen second, Leclerc third, first podium, Norris fourth, Russell fifth. Russell did not have as good of a race. His tires went, and he talked about it. They
He cooked
absolutely
him. Yeah,
went.
he straight up said he cooked him.
Yeah. So that was a little bit of a bummer, but then we got Kimi in sixth, Lewis in seventh, both Williams, Carlos Sainz, Albon 8, 9, and then Hadjar getting in the points, I believe, for the first time, right? Or no?
Third time.
Third time. I don't know why I keep giving Hadjar. Yeah, Hadjar has 5 points.
He
So
scored in Japan.
yeah, he has 5 points. So I take that
And
back. This is
Bahrain, right?
not his first, even relatively close to it, but he had a really good race. Obviously Yuki and Pierre took each other out early. Alonso was just outside of the points, so it was his best race of the season. It was good overall. There was lots of good, interesting racecraft. We had the DRS tunnel that Williams set up to make sure Isaac couldn't get past them. Carlos basically was pushing the car while at the same time allowing Albon to be within a second to open up the DRS train and not give Isaac an opportunity to pass. And that was like 15 laps of just utter stress for me. But it was super cool to see.
That's Carlos's game, though.
I know he did it in Singapore. Yeah.
Singapore, when he won, he was towing Lando along so he wouldn't get caught by Max. That's Carlos's thing, man. He doesn't even need an engineer to tell him that. He just knows. He's so aware, and that's just racecraft. You can't teach that.
Well, apparently Albon and Sainz had agreed on that strategy prior because I knew Gasly was going to be on their ass, but then Gasly got taken out and just subbed in Hadjar to do that part. I'm trying to think. A big talking point I realized was at the end of the race, I just keep seeing, I don't know if this is fully a setup from the reporters or this is actually his note, but Lando obviously keeps talking about how the McLaren is not as dominant as it is.
Yeah.
And then he's like underplaying it. And then it gets to Oscar, and every single time Oscar gets there, they are always like, by the way, they always express it a little bit more extreme than Lando actually said, which is Lando's going, our car isn't as far ahead as the other cars as we thought it was. And the reporters will literally go over to Oscar and verbatim say, Lando said that the Ferrari and the Red Bull are faster than the McLaren. And Oscar will be like, no, that's not true. So I feel like they're like trying, obviously they probably are trying to stir things up between those two drivers, but like,
yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. It's just kind of a weird feel. I feel like he's been lobbing in the, like, not excuses, but just been commenting on the car just to not cover himself, but just say, hey, by the way, we do have a fast car, but this thing isn't going to drive itself. It's not like cruise control, easy pace, go for it. It is still tough to drive, obviously, but I don't know. He's getting so much hate right now, and that kind of sucks because I don't feel like he's done anything wrong. He honestly had a pretty good race. He finished fourth when he started P10. So, but yeah, I just do think, I mean, it's the battle's within now. I think Oscar's just in his form at the moment, and Lando's slipping a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that's what these reporters like to do. They like to turn these guys against each other when everything seems great, which sucks. They're both performing at a really high level. The car's in a great spot, and we're going to let the media try and mess that up. And that's how it goes. It's part of being where these guys are. It's part of being in the spotlight. It's part of being the best at what you're doing at any given time. So I hope they overcome it. I also hope there is a little beef in the inner team at the same time. It does make it really interesting on track when two guys get feisty on the same team at the front of the grid, you know?
Yeah. I do agree with that. And I think it is just going to be interesting because Lando and Oscar don't really seem like the type to like really come for each other's throats. Especially Oscar, like he'll make a comment to interject or counter what the other person said, and I think Lando will do the same. But I just don't really see it getting fiery like some other team rivalries have been. But it is definitely
it won't be like a Rosberg and Lewis thing.
Yeah, I don't think it will be close to that. I think, but good.
I was just gonna say that was beefy. There was baggage there. It was kind of awesome. It was when we were younger, but I don't know. I didn't get full scale back then. That was kind of just starting, or just at the beginning when I was getting into this whole thing, and just like I didn't get it. And now it's clear as day, but also clear as mud. It's like, what's going on?
Yeah. Dude, I remember I also wasn't super in F1 then, obviously, but I've gone back and like looked at that season and it's insane to think how
It's
intense it
awesome.
was. It was so intense though.
Mm-hmm.
But okay. Question: what was your favorite overtake? I already kind of know what it's gonna be because I think there's only one answer.
Yeah, there is one answer. It's Oscar around Lewis, dude.
Yeah, dude. Favorite wheel
That
to wheel
was the
moment.
most unorthodox,
Insane.
crazy. That was the dumbest overtake I've ever seen. Even the
So
Crofty was like, "What was that, man?"
It was so insane. It was so good, dude. He's just driving the car so confidently. Who else is gonna do that?
Nobody.
Yeah.
Not right now.
No. Oh, I don't know what it is, but it's so good. And then, dude, Verstappen's been getting feisty with the media. He wasn't giving them any time of day. He was like, I'm not making a comment on anything because they don't want me to, and I'll get fined and I'll get in trouble. And it's like,
Yep.
oh man. But at the same time, the car's back.
I get
it
that.
Seems like.
I totally get that. My thing that I didn't like that Max did, which again, I've said this before, I'll say it again. I did not like Max for a while. He's grown on me a lot in the past year and a half. I'm starting to I like him. What I don't like is how sour and bland he was on the podium. He got up there, took 2 sips of his champagne, didn't spray anybody, kind of just set it down and walked off. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. You deserve that penalty. He should have at least slowed up a little bit. He cut a corner.
Yeah.
We get into that if you want, but I think a penalty was deserved.
I would agree. I mean, Oscar got the inside, beat him to it, and then they were both going in for it, and obviously one braked later than the other, so he had to cut the corner. And then he said, "Oh, he forced me off track." And you're like, "Did he?" So, but then also
maybe. I mean, but how can you? Max gave up on it so fast, just got off the brakes and turned right. Oscar did use the whole track on the way through, but it was after Max started giving up on it. So, I mean, 6 one way, half a dozen the other. It's hard to say.
Also, there's the question of whether or not Max should have just given him the spot back immediately instead of taking it in the pit.
Yeah. I would rather him have taken it in the pit because he did what he had to do. He got out there.
Yeah. I don't know. It was interesting though for the race to open like that too. It was crazy, and then obviously with the incident between Tsunoda and Pierre Gasly too. I mean, I did call it. I said, Pierre did so great last race. This means he's gonna. I said P17, but DNF is one within the same. But for the midfield battle, we kind of talked about. We thought this might happen. Haas and Williams flipped again. Williams is now back in 5th for the constructors, and Haas just was not really present in this race at all. I mean, the top finish was 13 and 14 for them, and it's Behrman above Ocon, but not really a great race. Lawson, everybody's kind of still saying it wasn't a great race, but I mean, it was the closest he's been to the points, I think, all season. He finished P12.
It was the best form he's been in all season. He actually drove, he was competitive, and he tried to pass people and didn't crash.
Yeah, and he didn't crash. So, I mean, that was promising. I still don't think there's no way he's in F1 next year. And then, I mean, it kind of feels like they're just kicking the can down the road with doing now. I've just been hearing more and more about how they're not necessarily in a rush to get Franco in the car, but I'll be surprised because Miami was the cutoff. So we got to wait 2 weeks and we're going to see, is Doohan going to race in Miami? Is it over for him? Or are they going to wait maybe till summer break? Like, what's actually going to be the process there? Because I'll be honest, I kind of expected Franco to be in the car maybe already.
Yeah. I mean, not a bad prediction. I thought along the lines of the same thing. I'm surprised it's gone on this long. Granted, the car really hasn't looked racy, but he certainly hasn't looked racy all season. I'm not doubting that the kid has talent. I think I truly believe he has talent, but it's the same thing with Bortoleto. It's hard when you come into the sport and go into the worst car.
Yeah.
How are you going to gain momentum?
Can't really do it. I mean, even like Ali and Haas, like they would probably kill to be in his position, or Hadjar
Yeah.
Racing Bull. But I think Hajar for rookie shocks, he's been the biggest shock for me. Like I did
Okay.
not expect him to be at this form. He's the leader now of V Carb, so that's pretty dang cool. And I don't know, I felt like some of the growing pains that some of the drivers were experiencing, whether it was a rookie or a team switch, I feel like it's all coming to form. Obviously, Kimmy, everybody's been preaching it from the hilltop that he's been in form, so it's fine. But I mean, still, I mean, Hajar and Ali are just kind of locked in. It seems like they're good to go. Carlos finally feels like he's finding himself in that car.
Yeah, he is.
The pace for the last lap was unbelievable that he put
He
out.
cooked.
He cooked.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm just excited. I think it's going to be interesting because Albon and Carlos seem to like really coexist well, just because it's not necessarily like Ferrari last year where drivers championship, like it wasn't like they couldn't win it, but they could place extremely high. This year, drivers championship's not even in question. It's more like we're just trying to get fifth in the constructors.
Yeah.
So
Okay, on that note, sorry to interject.
No, you're good.
On that note, I think it is awesome when you have a midfield team that is on the come up. I mean, this is y'all's best start since 2014.
I think you're correct. Yeah.
Or 2014 or 2015. And you're trending up and you have drivers that get along. Now, let's say in 5 years, you're at the top and you got two drivers that are truly fighting for a driver's championship. That's when things get dicey. When you're on an incline like this, and I think Valls does a great job too of just keeping the guys in check, like saying, look, we're a team. We have not been good. Let's just focus on being good together before we focus on being good individually.
Yep.
And both of these guys buy into that so hard. And I think it's great. I think that is great for a team. It's great for morale. It's great for momentum. And they will keep it up and they'll continue to get better.
Yeah. And I will say, if I don't know if you listened to it, but their podcast, it's like it used to just be like it was Logan and Alex, and it was not really a great listen, but I would always listen to it still. But now that it's Carlos and Alex, dude, the amount of detail they go into about the car and driving styles and everything is just so fun to listen to. And you can just see how they're like coexisting, like they're playing paddle together, and it kind of feels like they're just integrating well, which is exciting. I am very curious what's going to happen at the end of his contract. It's also extremely dependent on how good the car is next year, which we're seemingly all in on. Like we're not even rolling out packages really throughout the year. Which
you're talking about Carlos or Albon's contract?
Carlos. I think Albon's there till he retires.
Yeah,
I don't even see him. He got an offer from Red Bull last year and he didn't jump for it. So I think,
dude, I think you're gonna have Carlos for a while. He loves it. He loves that team. I mean, he said the same thing he said about McLaren. He's like, I don't go somewhere just to go somewhere. I go somewhere to see, or go somewhere that I see potential that this team's going to grow and get good. And they're doing that.
Well, how about this? What if Lewis finishes his skid in a year? Do you not think there's a single chance that Ferrari tries to scoot back Carlos?
Yeah, I think they would.
I think
they totally would.
I wouldn't be surprised if he goes back to Ferrari. If he doesn't go back to Ferrari, I don't see him. Rumors of him going to Audi were out there, but I just don't see Audi having a more competitive car than Williams in the next couple of years.
Yeah. I'm really curious to see what Audi does.
I don't know.
I mean, are they going to keep Hulk?
Yeah. No, Hulk's got a big contract with them.
Hulk's in.
Yeah. I mean, he's German driver, German car manufacturer. They just kind of want it for popularity purposes.
I knew he had a contract. I'd like to see Bortoleto stay. To be,
I think
completely honest with you,
Bortoleto is arguably in F2 standards is the most qualified and the best rookie right now.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's in the worst car by a large margin. So, I mean, he's most likely, I think, will finish the year without scoring points. Sadly, so yeah, tough to see. I mean, Hulk's still driving the kick better than anybody probably could ever. Hulk's just a magician when it comes to just somehow finding the way to get in the points. So I think he's a great driver to have, but I don't know. The Cadillac lineup's the only thing that's going to be interesting for next year, really, when it comes to driver market, because I don't see lots of shifts happening besides if Max jump ship.
Yeah, I don't. That's a tough one because, like, this past week, too, all of this stuff has come out about him getting the Aston Martin contract thrown at him or something, and it was an ungodly amount of money. And I have no idea. I don't even know where to weigh in on that, except that it's going to be interesting. And I'm with you that Caddy, we haven't seen something like this happen in a long time of a new team coming. It's 2 more slots on the grid for people to get in.
Yep.
So where are they going to pull from? I mean, for God's sake, they could pull a freaking indie guy. I mean, who
There's
knows?
rumors of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Checo, I think, is almost a shoo-in just with how much funding comes with him.
Yep. And experience, loads of experience, years and years and years, and many different cars, and have seen cars develop. He's seen cars decline.
Yeah,
he has a lot of knowledge.
I think Checo and Valtteri would be the best combo they could go with for just for fan appeal as well as just like experience added up. I do think they're gonna want to go American driver. It's like Colton something another is the guy they're looking for right now. He's in
he driving FP1 this week.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, who would he have driven for?
I don't
Oz?
know. Maybe.
That's the only American team. Yeah, Colton Herta. Yeah, literally. And then the other two guys I just mentioned, Valtteri and Sergio. I mean, people have obviously thrown Ricardo's name in there, but I don't see that happening.
He's already denied it too.
He's already said I'm good. So, I mean, how cool would it be to see? I mean, imagine Valtteri and Daniel on the same team would be amazing for fans. But I think Valtteri's still got some race in him.
Yeah, definitely.
Personally. And I love when people will bring up the arguments where he's the third best driver of all time.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, there's not even a slight comparison. And you look at all the records he has where it's just like one lap times, like just fastest laps on multiple tracks. Like he's just a beast. Like he is just an incredible driver. It sucks that he's not on the grid. Obviously he's the test for McLaren and Mercedes, but I would love to see him get in a car that's like semi-competitive, even if it's just midfield.
Yep. Yeah, no, to see Valtteri go, you're right, the third best driver of all time. I don't even think that's like a question. The best teammate of all time.
Yes.
There's absolutely no debate on that. He's the best teammate of all time. You never find somebody just like, he didn't cater to Lewis, but he let Lewis do his damn thing. And he was like, you know what? I'm in a fast car. I'm going to come in second every effing race. And he did.
But also, like, if he was out qualified and was leading the race, Lewis would let him finish first a lot of times. Like, even if they were like, Lewis go catch the guy in front or whatever, Lewis would let him back there. Like, they just coexisted so well. That's why it was, obviously, you got to move on with the younger guy, and that's why Russell's there, and they're happy they did it because Russell's in such a good form now as the team leader. But, I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah. All right, that was a hell of a side tangent. Anything to wrap up the Saudi situation?
No, I again happy with the race in general, not even just the red guys. It was great. It was competitive. It was everything we wanted from that track. A little bit of crash action that always happens there because the walls are so tight. Great result. 3 different teams on the podium too. You can't hate that.
Super cool. I know you're looking at the mix. It was interesting though, because like the midfield now is like scraping for the back end of points because it's like Red Bull, McLaren, Mercedes, Ferrari, and it's just like good luck.
Yep.
And all the drivers are showing up. If Yuki starts scoring points consistently, it's kind of going to be an issue. But then I do think if you're any bit not as good as your teammate, teams like Williams could have it out for you and undercut you in a pit. So it's going to be interesting. But I'm going to finish off with what we're looking at drivers championship-wise. 10th is still Lance Stroll, even though he has raced horrifically the past 2 races. He's back to the Lance Stroll form we're used to seeing, not the one we saw at the beginning of the season. So he's got 10 points. We got Esteban Ocon in 9th with 14. Albon's 8th with 20. And we got Lewis with 31 and 7th. Dude, that's a tiny gap between him and Albon. It'll keep growing, obviously. And then
what did Albon have?
20. Lewis has got 11 more, 31.
I'm surprised Lewis has that much.
Oh, he won the sprint.
Yeah,
that's the main thing carrying him right now. Then we got Kimi with 38. Oh, how much does that hurt? Kimi's beating Lewis. Yeah, ouch. And then we got Leclerc with 47 now. That podium helped a ton. We got 73 with George Russell. That's where the big jump happens. So, I mean, and he finished 5th.
Yeah.
Finished 5th. So, I mean, even a bad race for him is still lots of good points. Verstappen's at 87. So, Russell's really close to Verstappen, which I think is going to be so interesting. That race will be fun, especially with the drama at the end of last year. It's like, how's this going to go down? And then it's 87 and then 89 to Lando. So Verstappen has the chance of jumping Lando. And then it's going to be a dogfight between him and Piastri, who's sitting at 99.
Golly, this is what we wanted, man. We got 4
Yes.
guys that have a real chance.
Yes, I know. How cool. I mean, personally, I would love to see George somehow end up in the top 3, maybe even top 2. But I just do think it's going to be Max is going to have to battle with Lando, and then Oscar's just going to have to try to pull ahead as fast as possible.
If
And
Oscar stays out of the smoke from Lando and Max, he wins a driver's championship.
Absolutely, I agree.
Those guys are gonna bump tires. Something's gonna happen again.
And the thing is, it's like the McLaren's pretty good at almost every single track, whereas the Red Bull's not going to have that luxury. So there's going to be times where Max puts in unreal time, like he did in qualifying in Saudi, and just be like, okay, cool. Like, what am I supposed to do there? Like, you can't really do much. Everybody was doing crazy laps. Even Russell put in an insane lap. So
yeah,
not really much you can do there. But there's going to be tracks where the Red Bull's just not good, and the McLaren's, of course, going to be quick because it's quick on just about every track. So
yep. Totally agree.
He's just got to keep his head down, man. We got Miami in 2 weeks. So that'll be exciting.
Oh, yeah.
Boom. You can see it got dark because this freaking ring light's blasting me right now.
Oh, yeah.
But, all right. That's all I got.
Yeah, that's where we'll leave it.
We'll be posting a different type of video this weekend. So look out for that. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Yep. Peace.
Peace.